Hello and welcome back to the LUTI coverage. I'm Brush. Joined me on the mic is Era. How you doing this evening?
I'm excited to see this set. How are you?
I'm all right. It's LUTI. It's Div 7 Group B World. So we're watching StarFall versus Bitclam. Both of these teams won their first round. So this is actually going to be a pretty good decider for seeing how the rest of their group is going to play out over the coming weeks. We're opening with Clam Blitz Humpback. What do you have any thoughts on this one?
I think that some people love it, some people hate it. A good amount of people are pretty neutral about it, but that like elbow and the higher plat area is definitely something that can be taken advantage of, and it's really interesting in that mode, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, certainly at the lower levels, as players are starting to learn the maps better and learn their way around, you start to see, those things really starting to be taken advantage of. We saw that this morning. Teams going to link to me, Toxic Inc. versus Team Delta, but just like seeing some of the differences. I watched the Clam Blitz Humpback match of being able to push around that elbow, get control up there, and deny them the game. So I'm interested to see, and this first game actually could be a pretty good teller for how the rest of the set is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the fact that the clam basket is like situated on top of like a drop, like a ledge, is pretty unique in the fact that it could go really well or incredibly wrong for the team defending.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how these teams use range in that sense as well, because if you can't get around to the elbow, you gotta really be sloshing upwards, or shooting upwards there. It seems like I accidentally gave away my second thing, which is, sloshers here just kind of go off.
Definitely.
And here we go. Clam Blitz, Humpback Pump Track, StarFall versus Bitclam. We'll see what weapons they opt to grab. There's the slosher. Soda slosher there with the bomb rush, and a tri-slosher for Bitclam. A double armor comp on the side of Bitclam with that booyah, but a double booyah comp coming out from StarFall.
Yeah, I know this isn't Humpback splat zones, but seems like booyah bombs are pretty popular around here.
Sure, and so we see this battle here for mid. The Octashot here is trying to grab some control, just try to make something happen. Booyah coming out to try to break out on the side of StarFall here, but it's not going to get anyone. Armor coming out as well. And look how good, such a good job they are just trying to like hold this spot. But ultimately, it's just gonna looks like it's falling in favor of StarFall slowly but surely. The second booyah coming out, and a retaliation booyah coming out for Bitclam with armor and Inkjet as well.
Yeah, and StarFall already has two players up on that plat taking the elbow to score at least 35 points, which is incredible for the first minute of the game, to be honest.
Right, and it didn't look like StarFall had a super demanding control of the spot there. And we see the Soda Slosher just overextending a little bit there on the left, but it's unlike Rainmaker or something where, you get your wipe and you're able to push up and take control. Clams requires a lot more coordination in that regard, and so it's trying to find these openings and trying to balance your clam management and balance also having specials all at the same time. Like there, we see the 52, they use their booyah, but it doesn't really get anyone. They just end up having to waste it a little bit. It's a struggle to be able to find these openings and push up.
Yeah, for sure. I think StarFall is doing a really good job of having map control, so at the very least they have that going in their favor, and it's allowed them to get the first points on the board. But we'll see how picks turn out for the rest of the game.
Right. I mean, Bitclam here having to like pop their specials just to break out of mid, and they do get 2 down, but as we said, they have to get the specials, they have to get the clams, and they have to move up, and it looks like they're only able to get 2 of those things so far.
Yeah, before one of them gets taken down, and it's pretty even right now. I feel like they're just fighting for mid. I guess the Hydra has the highest number of kills at the moment, and they jump out with power cannon.
Right, I mean, he's doing a great job backing up here when they need to. StarFall, though, still able to push and open that basket and get a couple clams in. And on such a stalemate game, you know, that's might just be the difference is getting the feed just for a couple extra points. And getting down to 40 is going to be decent, though, with 20 clams ready for Bitclam. They might be ready to push back in and take some control of their own.
Yeah, for sure.
See Bitclam moving up to mid here, just trying to get the specials to get Inkjet and Armor, and they pair them quite nicely. Hoping to get this pick on the Remix is out of position. The Remix goes down. It's a 4v3.
4v2.
4v2, here we go. This is their chance. The one going down and first it's the goal. Just the Zap, though, alive. They're going to try to do anything they can. They do get one pick. They miss the second ball, and now they have to get some clams in.
Unfortunately, that looks like it's going to be the only power clam being scored on the side of Bitclam, which is better than nothing, I suppose, but it just gives the other team an extra pity clam football.
Right, I mean, for a moment there, it looked like things were going really well for them. They had 3 balls on the board, they got them 3 down, but just an unfortunate number of trades instead of picks going for Bitclam and not really able to follow up along with that missed clam. But StarFall's going to take control of mid again, and they're going to try to get a couple more points on the board here. They already get 1 down on the Octa shot with the Booyah coming out. The 52 trying to find this flank on the right side.
Yeah, it looks like Bitclam's taking extra care to defend that elbow, because they knew the first time that they let someone slide through there, it did not end up well in a good spot for them.
2 of the members of StarFall kind of feeding for that clam there, and 3 specials ready on the side of Bitclam. Looks like they're going to try to push up here as well. Having that backline down, having the Remix down is going to be a real help for them as the Hydra is looking to take control of mid here and push up and play a little more aggressively. The 52 is going to go down. That's a 4v2. They open the barrier. The Remix hoping, or the Hydra hoping to get this ball, and that they do. It's a 3-clam game with 30 seconds left on the clock, but a 2v2 situation. This K-Pro trying to find an opportunity, but going down, just leaving the Tri-Slosher on the respawn.
Yeah, that wall just completely blocking the path to the basket, and a solid defense on the side of StarFall.
Right, I mean, it was such a stalemate game at mid and just some unfortunate openings that StarFall was able to take advantage of. But like, both these teams are just really doing a great job holding their side and not overextending. But StarFall's going to push in a little bit farther here and just get that extra power clam and end the game.
Yeah, so I think that was good defense on the side of Bitclam once they figured out, hey, you know, sometimes people take control of the elbow and can get some clams in. Yeah, and if you look at the picks, Bitclam's definitely not too far. Well, they were ahead of StarFall's, but StarFall was just able to play objective and sneak past to secure their victory.
For sure. I mean, very back and forth game, though, not going in anyone's favors, but that just might be the Clam's curse. And as we move into a game that requires a little more coordination with the lockout on Zone Skipper Pavilion, we might not be seeing the same thing. Such a very, very strange map because the 2 pushes are very separated from each other. And there's not a lot of overlap. So if you're going to bottom mid, you are committing to bottom mid. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams try to break back in or how they try to address that issue of the 2-2 or 3-1 or just adapt to where their opponents are.
Yeah, definitely. When my team played this map mode earlier today in our LUTI set, I think it was easy to put all your resources towards either the bottom or the top, right? And it's definitely hard to get that coordination down to where you have enough resources at both places that you can securely, you know, cap the zone and ideally, you know, get some points on the board, I guess.
For sure. I mean, it's a very interesting map in that, you know, you do have to be responding to what you're seeing your opponent do. You can't just camp out at bottom and camp out at top and have your lockout work. Especially if your opponent is doing a good job rotating around and looking for the openings and taking advantage of them. And just kind of overloading one side and catching your opponent off guard on a break into zone it can be life or death, and you can carry that energy and momentum into the end of the game. What are you expecting comp-wise?
Honestly, I'm not sure how many of these players are flexes or, you know, less of a flex, so I'm I'm looking forward to seeing what other things they decide to bring out for this map.
Right. Well, we see a Booyah and Bomb Rush with the Inkjet on the splash with K Galuga Dualies for armor and a Ballpoint. Is that with Storm?
Yes, it's the Beacon Inkstorm one.
There you go. We see both teams focusing bot mid on the opening with the Ballpoint, just kind of staying up top, trying to get their special together. It's going to force them into a 3v4 at bottom unless the Ballpoint is able to rotate around and take control, though it looks like one of the side of StarFall is able to take control at top and push in with them. But now it's a 4v3 situation, a 3v3 with the Zap going down along with the 52. Sorry, Bitclam was able to take their first control.
Yeah, but now with the armor coming out from StarFall, they get the pick on the Booyahs, and the Bomb Rush coming out is definitely going to secure that zone. Booyah Bomb getting taken down, unfortunately, right after they throw it, and now it's a 2v2 situation with another Booyah Bomb coming out.
Right, we've been seeing the 52 for StarFall using these Booyahs very aggressively, just kind of popping them when they see an opportunity. And that's going to keep them alive for sure, but the question is it going to be able to hold against a breakout? With the armor and missiles coming out here for Bitclam, they're going to be looking to secure the zone here and try to get rid of this Charger. And the 52 without a Booyah does go down here and ending up in a 4v2 just against the Charger and the Bomb Rush Splash.
Yeah, well, now StarFall is 2 down, but they have 2 Bomb Rushes, like, on hold, ready to, throw, and here they come.
And they've got them in sync, just trying to force this zone with everything they can. Bitclam doing an excellent job painting over, though, and finding the pick on the Charger.
Now StarFall is staggered, and Bitclam still has a pretty solid hold of the zone, in my opinion. They take 2 down.
A little bit of extend there.
Yeah.
Oof. Unfortunate stuff. So here we go. This is where we're going to see the teams try to rotate around and take control of one side or the other.
We see 2 coming from top on the side of StarFall. They managed to get a pick on the Lugas and a Bomb Rush coming out all the way from that top layer with a Charger and a Booyah Bomb, hoping to secure the zone, and they do, which is always good to buy their team more time to bring those points back.
Right, but StarFall kind of wiped that push, just leaving the Charger alive, who was really far back, and now even they go down. So here we go, it's back in Bitclam's favor with that demanding initial lead and a stronger lockout. We're watching StarFall just try to throw everything they have at zone, but they're staggered, as you said, and it's not working out in their favor.
Yeah, the K-52 getting caught in a little bit of an unfortunate situation, and now the Splash is going all the way around, taking a flame, gets the pick on Ballpoint, and StarFall's hoping to cap zone with this Bomb Rush, and for now it works, and we'll see how the hold goes, I guess.
We got a missile coming out for Bitclam trying to re-secure zone, but another Bomb Rush ready for StarFall from the Charger, though they are gonna cap before the Bomb Rush comes out. But now it's a 3v3 situation. The Charger doing a great job controlling bot mid. StarFall looking for a flank off of the respawn. They get one. The Claygo goes down. They pinch the Zap. And this is StarFall's opportunity to lock out and really control this game in the last minute and a half here.
Yeah, that was a really good pinch. But now 2 members of Bitclam are bottom mid with the Booyah Bomb coming out. And nice. The K-52 gets 1. It's pretty even at this point, and it's up to StarFall to see if they can hold this, but no.
Right, they do get wiped. The picks being found for Bitclam with a minute left on the clock and 50 ticks to count. This could be a KO. I mean, just great positioning here on the lockout for StarFall, or for Bitclam, sorry. Doing a great job finding these picks and just responding to those callouts, seeing the Zap there get a pick, but then getting called out and going down. The Charger trying to do everything they can from top mid to break back in. The Bomb Rush coming out with 10 seconds left, 10 ticks left on the counter. The Bomb Rush might be able to cap through here and delay a little bit longer. No, it doesn't look like it will, and that's going to be the game. The second one going to Bitclam, 1-1 set.
Yeah, we love to see a team that was at a bit of a lower hand in terms of the opposite of upper hand in the first game, coming back and forcing these extended sets, I guess. So that was really good to see.
I mean, we saw just an absurd amount of aggression from StarFall in the first game, or not an absurd amount, sorry, but just enough to fight through the stalemate game of Humpback Clams. And Bitclam said, hey, no, we're going to take this slow. We're going to lock you guys out. We're not going to let you go in mid. And as we move into Tower Sturgeon, it's going to be this weird middle ground of like, lockout is helpful, but you also need to be able to push ahead and push objective, which I think is playing to a little bit more of Starfall's strength.
Yeah, for sure. Especially this map, the path of the tower gets into some really tight choke points, and I'm eager to see how far they can take the tower, because getting a knockout is going to be extremely difficult.
Right, I mean, you have to get basically 3 wipes back to back to KO this tower. And you're right, if you can control scaffolding, if you can control snipe, you're just above the tower for the entirety of first checkpoint, where you can just rain down bombs. And I know I said this earlier, but sloshes. We saw that Soda Slosher in the first game, as well as Tri-Slosher, one on each team, and another one of those picks here wouldn't be unsurprising.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see how many Splatlings get pulled out, because there's so many greats and opportunities for Splatlings to, use their run speed and
Right.
rain down on the tower. So, yeah, that was interesting.
We did see a Hydra and a Splatling in the first game, so we know they're not afraid, along with the ballpoint, they're not afraid to play around with their backlines. So I'm interested to see what we're gonna get into here. Tower, Sturgeon, Shipyard, 1-1 set. Sea-Jet. Both teams opting for a Sea-Jet. K Gluga's on Bitclam still for their armor, and sticking with the orange Zap for missiles.
Yep, and a Nautilus on the side of Starfall. So we see a Ray already coming out on the side of Starfall, trying to work with their team to get some picks on that left side of the map.
They're going to get the opponent's siege at very low, but not quite get him. The knock going down to 52 as well, along with the zap. So this is Bitclam's opportunity to get their first push going. They pull out the Stingray, they do get the wipe, and they're going to be able to hopefully get through this first checkpoint and down into the pit. Or sorry, no, the court.
Yeah, that Stingray on the side of Bitclam working really well with this K-Machine and missiles, and even though the K-Machine gets down, they have stalled Starfall quite a bit.
Right, and they do break the first checkpoint.
Yeah, although that's a delayed wipe, so that first push is going to be stopped at 42, which is quite, more than halfway.
Right, but keep in mind here, the choke point and the checkpoint is gone, so next push, the tower's going to be able to get all the way into court, and the K-Machine's position there, which was pretty far up, is going to be supported by the teammates hanging back on tower. So this is looking good for Bitclam. They just got to play some defense here, but with going 2 down, the K-Machine opting to back up here, and getting flanked going down as well, this is looking very good for Starfall.
Yeah, almost like the exact mirror image of that first push coming out from Starfall now, and
right.
Even more specials there, all the way down to 25. Oh wow!
Dude, 19 through the third checkpoint. I mean, what we saw Starfall do here, or what we saw Bitclam didn't do here, what Starfall did was Starfall was able to back up through the first checkpoint and give them space and let them control the pit or the court area, so that way they could push up as a team and take control again. But with Bitclam going 2 down, they were holding their snipe, which if they could find the picks would have been really helpful, but instead they just delayed their team even longer, allowing Starfall to take control of the second checkpoint and then the third, and it snowballed from there. So just being aware of when you got to back up and give the opponent some space and give them some points, so that way you can push back stronger.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I feel like you don't learn exactly in solo queue by yourself. This is something special to team play, and a surprising KO to me, because like I said before the match, I was not expecting the tower to get all the way to the end, but a good performance by Starfall. Yeah,
for sure. Something I feel like we see that at all levels of the game too, is just trying to learn when to back up and when to wait for your team to support you, and when you can control it and push up and hold a spot alone. And you know, just seeing StarFall do a great job capitalizing on the K Machine being in snipe and pinching in there into court and controlling the area super well. But as we move into Rainmaker and Chovy, you know, we said Tower might favor StarFall a bit more with their aggression, and they did just KO. So with Rainmaker and Chovy, what do you expect to see?
I'm interested to see how far they can, you know, push the Rainmaker just like they did the Tower, I guess. But at the same time, Rainmaker is one of those modes where you have to be careful about your wipes, and if your team is like doesn't have all of its members up. So I think, like we saw on Skipper, I think both StarFall and Bitclam could have something to look out for, you know, like making sure that they're playing together and not getting wiped, because that Rainmaker can get plenty of points pretty quickly.
Right, I mean, dubbed Rainmaker pushes is just kind of holding forward and taking controls of, or sorry, ignoring the hot spots and just moving through your opponent. Or, you know, moving no one because they're wiped. So seeing these breakout picks, seeing these players going down and seeing how the Rainmaker is able to capitalize on that is going to be interesting here.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if either team will choose to take the right path, you know, just to make things a bit more interesting. But
yeah, you know, it's a fun area to commentate because there's the call-out piston, and that's it. So you just got to kind of figure out what you're saying. Hydra coming out for StarFall here. Hydra's on both teams. Interesting picks for sure.
Definitely. And we see pretty much mirror comps, not the exact same weapons, but, you know, two more close range weapons and then a midline on each side and then the Hydra.
Right, no one really went for pop in the opening here, at least no one got it. Though once the Zap was rotating around to get it, they did pop it and get the 52 pick on it, making Bitclam lose their Booyah. Or not their Booyah, sorry, their Inkjet. So just seeing how these teams are able to take advantage. Now it's a 3v3 situation. The Pro looking for a couple more picks, trying to get one on the CDS. But ultimately, their team is going to end up 2 down and a pick on the left side there. And just another stalemate at mid like we saw in the Clams game.
Yeah, those Hydras on plat just making it so difficult for this K-Pro to peek out and make moves. But Booyah Bomb coming out and Inkjet on the side of Bitclam. It's still a 3v3 though, yeah.
He's just going to find one pick, but not going to be able to take the Hydra out as they had armor. And there we go. Someone finally grabs the Rainmaker, and they do get 2 picks with a third one jumping out here. So this is StarFall's opportunity to push up and just kind of hold forward and try to get some points. The Hydra repositioning and snipe above, but if StarFall can just move and get some points early, they can take advantage, but they're not going to be able to do that. Ooh. But the Hydra going down and snipe the Zap grabbing Rainmaker, they're going down to a bomb, and StarFall's going to have to pop the Rainmaker for the 3rd time here. With the bomb spam and the missiles coming out for Bitclam, they're going to take the 52 down with them. Now it's a 3v4. Booyah coming out. The Hydra grabbing and getting all the way to 22.
Yeah, honestly, not a terrible place to be in the first 2 minutes of the match.
Not a terrible place to be in at all on Anchovy. I mean,
getting past that pillow is pretty hard.
Right, I mean, getting around that corner is certainly a challenge, especially if you take a little bit of a safer path and move the Rainmaker a little more into office. But here we go. We're going to see Bitclam try to find some picks for the Rainmaker. They're going to take one down, but their teammates are going to lose a fight at mid. Now it's a 2v2 situation with the Rainmaker. This Zap trying to find this pick on this Pro. They're going to find it. No, they're going to trade, unfortunately. The Hydra going down to the Rainmaker. I think that was a Rainmaker triple kill?
At least, yeah, but we finally get taken down by the K-52 on the side of StarFall, but just both of these teams are trading picks back and forth in this corner of Anchovy games.
Right, but StarFall able to capitalize a little bit more. And here we go, taking the right side push, making our life nice and fun. The Hydra already repositioning in top right there, trying to find the pick. The Rainmaker going to slosh some shots toward them. And we see Bitclam trying to struggle to get over this Sponger to find a pick, and they're going to trade the Rainmaker. And this is actually where StarFall might want to just stall it and wait. You know, they're in a really strong position, and they have an advantage in positioning. forcing Bitclam to go through the sponge or go through the spawn there if they can get up on the top right. But they're gonna just wait out this the piston there and try to get more points. They're gonna get stopped at 22, but they are going to get the Rainmaker a little bit closer.
Yeah, but now that StarFall is 3 down, oh, I suppose the K-Pro is gonna stay here and try to get some more picks off of this, but oh, never mind.
The Booyah getting canceled by an auto bomb. And now the Rainmaker having to move back up, and now on the left side, which is a strong position for your Rainmaker on breakout if you can find the picks. Going back to window, this time hoping for something different than last time. They're going to find their 52 going down, and Bitclam is going to move up in a 3v3.
Yeah, finally hoping to get some points on the board, but it's a 3v4 situation with Bitclam at a bit of a disadvantage, and another one of their members goes down, and they're forced into this corner again.
Unfortunate stuff. I mean, just tunnel vision, the Rainmaker from StarFall, and it's been working out for them with 40 seconds left in the game. Taking that top right path was able to stall basically 2 minutes of the counter, and forcing Bitclam, if they want to take this win, to go into overtime.
Yeah, and getting it all the way to 22 in less than 30 seconds plus like a minute, that's
right.
A big task to take on.
But here we go. Bitclam is going to try to paint up the map. They're going to try to find the picks. The Zap finding this pick on the 52, canceling their Booyah. It's 2 down from StarFall. The one jumping in there. They're going to try to find the jump pick. The Pro's going to stay alive. The Hydra going down. That's the range gone for StarFall. Bitclam has to grab the Rainmaker here, but they're going to wipe.
Unfortunately, that's the end of this game for Bitclam, and now the StarFall is up 3-1 in this set.
Right, I mean, Bitclam just not being able to quite find the aggression and quite move up enough to let their Rainmaker follow them there. Getting some of the picks they needed, but StarFall doing a great job getting back into play and finding the pick they needed to stall long enough. So now here we go, Splat Zone's Mako Mart. Splat Zone's Skipper was the only one Bitclam was able to take, so we'll see what they're able to do here on another Splat Zone's match. What are you thinking comp-wise?
I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of those suction bomb rushes from StarFall potentially again, because they seem to really like that last time. But yeah, and Booyah bombs from both sides, but other than that, could be a tough
Right, I mean, again, they have not been shy to play around with their backline weapon. Maybe we're going to see StarFall stick with that splatling option over the sniper. But I mean, just a good job holding the aggression, holding the spot they needed, and then locking out from Bitclam last time. Sloshers go off here, blasters go off here, though we've only really seen the slosher come out once, and that was in the opening match. So we'll see for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe a couple of inkjets as well, which might be helpful to like get up onto that left side and in the face of the enemy during the lockout.
Right, I wonder how Bitclam is feeling about that Nautilus, you know? They got KO'd on the Tower Sturgeon match, but maybe they're just not used to it in their comp. I mean, StarFall doing, I've said this before, but StarFall doing just an excellent job pushing up, taking control, and really capitalizing on those mistakes. Bitclam is going to have to watch their back a little bit more, maybe watch those flanks, make sure they're staying alive longer, and not taking those trades when they don't need to be.
Definitely, but at the same time, maybe exerting a little bit more aggression and preventing the other team from getting to the zone in the first place if they are at an advantage.
So certainly that lockout. This is Bitclam's chance to prove that they are the better Splat Zones team, at least. In this second match, they're gonna have to win a couple more matches here if they want to be able to take it. Basically, almost every single match from here on out. Bitclam is going to have to win if they want to be able to take the set. StarFall just looking out to close this thing in 2 more. Mako Mart Clams, the Dynamo coming out with Booyah. K Gluga's double armor on the side of Bitclam from the Hydra and the K Gluga's bomb rush and missiles. Clapples with Splashdown coming out for StarFall.
Yeah, definitely a good way to secure at least some paint on the zone and maybe get rid of some of those suction bombs from the suction bomb rush, but not the most favored special in this meta.
Right, I mean, the Glugas found the flanker and get the pick, though they're going to go down to the Clapples here. The Clapples looking to move up here and get a pick. A great job controlling Snipe is Starfall, though the Clapples are going to end up going down here in a 1v1 against the Splash-O-Matic, who's going to charge up their Booyah, and they're going to look to push back into zone. The Dynamo finding a beautiful pick on the Snipe. They're going to be able to take 2 down there, and this is a beautiful lockout from Starfall.
That Dynamo with just so much range, almost able to reach the Hydra on the complete, like, opposite side of their spawn. That's insane.
Bitclam popping the armor, popping the bomber, trying to push back into zone here. Starfall back doing a good job backing up here and just trying to paint over zone. The K-Shot is going to find an unfortunate death to a suction bomb, and Bitclam is going to be able to cap the zone and getting 3 down.
Yeah, a solid recap, I suppose, of the zone. And now they're looking to push up a little bit more and keep that going for themselves. But
Great. Booyah missiles coming out for Starfall. Splashdown ready, as you just said. They're going to be able to cap without it. So the Splashdown is going to be held 2 down in favor of Starfall as the Clapples look to make some noise. Though they're just trying to find their way up there, holding on that stack.
Yeah, tons of fizzy bombs coming out from this Glugas player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Clapple's just doing a great job holding the stack with the Dynamo and just terrorizing with these torpedoes as the Dynamo is able to hold back and paint over zone as the bombs come out. The bombs are going to be able to cap it. Bia coming out to just try to neutral zone a little bit longer, and a 2v3 situation in favor of Bitclam. But they're going to have to get a couple more picks if they want to take advantage.
Yeah, the Dynamo does such a good job of just flinging paint and holding down zone with the Booyah sprinklers and, you know, just the roller. It's very difficult for Bitclam to paint against that.
Yeah,
especially
I mean, Bitclam,
2 of their players
unfortunately, Bitclam unfortunately, like, kind of finding some weird downs, and Starfall as well there, ending up on a 1v4, but with cap. So just some trades that are happening as we've seen the last couple sets. Booyah Bomb coming out for Starfall to push back in, though missiles and Bomb Rush retaliated nicely from Starfall to hold on to zone. Starfall is going to be able to move back in here and cap the zone. Or maybe not. The K-Shot going down on zone. The Clapples finding an unfortunate demise on the right side. The Zap getting a lucky jump out, but this is Bitclam's chance to cap the zone and take lead.
Yeah, if they can just paint over this Booyah Bomb, they can prevent Starfall from capping it again. And they're getting a couple of picks, although they are 2 down. Oof. And Starfall manages to get the zone back.
Right, we saw a little bit of an overextension by Snipe from the Neo Splash, which kind of snowballed into Starfall being able to cap the zone and take control. But just some back and forth mid-game we're seeing here. No team really truly demanding anything as Bitclam, as we saw, they're being able to get all the way down to 38 on 1 cap with their lockout.
Yeah, but it's also interesting to note that Starfall technically hasn't put any points on the board since their first push, if I remember correctly.
Right, just chipping away at the penalty. But here we go, a wipe in favor of Starfall. This is what they want to see. This is what's going to be able to expand their lead. The Clapples pushing all the way up here, using their splashdown, making noise, forcing 2 people out of the play. They're ultimately going down, but that's going to be enough for the penalty points to tick away for Starfall, and they're going to be able to expand their lead a little bit here. The Booyah still ready from the Dynamo, though all of Starfall is stuck on left side, and we see the Hydra capitalizing on this and pushing onto the stack. The Booyah coming out is going to force it backwards. 10 ticks left in the clock. This is going to be possibly another KO win in favor of Starfall. If someone could watch the zone, oh no! The bomb rush came out there for Bitclam, and it was almost enough to cap, but just the bomb thrower just not getting the 1 extra bomb they needed and going down, and Starfall is able to finally loop back around and cap the zone, and this is going to be match point.
Yeah, I think we all just watched the zone be neutral for a couple seconds there before Starfall was able to go back and cap it, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we saw Bitclam take the first zones match, and it was a very back and forth as we saw, and it was a little frustrating to watch. And this time Starfall did a much better job of taking the cap, holding the zone, and not letting anything happen to them. but still just good back and forth action. Bitclam finding their ways into zone and delaying the game a little bit longer. Clam Blitz on Inkblot Academy is next. Really only one strong way into basket. What are your thoughts here?
I'm excited to see some different angles being used. I know you just said there's one good way to get into the basket, but I think on both of these teams, there's at least one player who likes to go for flanks and
For sure.
pinches, and I'm interested to see how they can pull that off on Inkblot, where it's such a big delineation, I suppose, between plat and mid. So, yeah, those are going to be crucial for pushes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the flanks are important here, and if you can take advantage, you can take the jumps and find your way all the way up into bats behind the goal there. You can really take some demanding points, but my fear here is that teams are going to get stuck with, especially with the Dynamo we saw there, just raining down tower from the attic, not letting anyone through the block there, and we're going to see a very stalematy game at mid for a bit. We saw that a little bit on the first Clam Blitz match on Humpback, with just some good mid stuff though. StarFall able to find the openings, but finding those openings is a bit more difficult here. You gotta get through the block, you gotta get all the way into basically the enemy's spawn. You can't get away with throwing clams from this weird under area.
Yeah, I remember in the first match, Bitclam brought out a pretty hefty defense, although I know both teams are very capable of getting wipes on each other, and I'm interested to see how they approach this a bit differently now that it's Clam Blitz.
For sure, and here we go. For the match point, StarFall 4-1 over Bitclam. Clam Blitz on Inkblot Art Academy. Let's watch some Splatoon. The K-Gluga has been coming out lately for the armor for the side of Bitclam, but they're going to opt not to have it here. Having the Grim Raid for missiles and the ballpoint for Storm, along with is that the Baller Aerospray on this StarFall? What a pick! What a strange choice, along with the Junior for armor. So they're at least gonna have the armor covered. Or no, sorry, that's armor on the other side. The Zap for armor on the side of StarFall. So they're gonna have some armors here for that Aerospray, but. Whoa!
Wipe already on the side of Bitclam.
The Zap finding beautiful picks, and there we go. Tossing clams, getting the ball in, and here we go. This is gonna be the first pick. 8 more clams ready. They're gonna start tossing them in. One of their players finding the flank around through bats. They're gonna leave because they see people just try to toss clams near the basket. Though it's not gonna be enough. Gonna go into this baller and hope to make some more noise, but they're gonna ultimately go down. If I remember correctly, I mean 65 was the point limit we saw on that first push that StarFall had in the Clams match. So at least they're proving themselves reliable here. Getting the one down on the Grim Range Blaster as they look to find a couple more picks and push back in.
Yeah, definitely being a little tricky here, trying to go up into bats. I think you said the name was.
Yes.
I'm great at callouts, obviously, but
the Remix playing super aggressively here, finding the pick of the Grim Range. They're gonna get backed up here and get very low to this bomb. Good job just holding their plat area, Bitclam. That they're gonna find 2 down, and the K shot is gonna look for the second pipe. They're gonna be able to get a double, and that's gonna probably hold their plat for long enough and stop another push in for StarFall. Just the Aerospray alive in that baller, and they're gonna get a pick somehow, but go down to the ball point. In a 3v3 situation on these respawns.
Yeah, but being able to survive with that baller gives their team more time, and we saw one of their members already trying to push up onto plat with that block. So, StarFall is already back into the action, ready to gear up for the next push.
But I mean, look at such a great job the Zap on left there. Just doing a great job throwing these bombs up, not letting anything happen. As the team is looking to take advantage of that, shifting behind their player, putting this ball together here, hopefully, and or at least just holding it 9 clams, and the Booyah coming out, and they're going to try to make some noise here again in a 3v3 situation.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think Bitclam's even touched StarFall's plat at this point. It's all the fights have been happening on the side of StarFall's spawn, and unfortunately for Bitclam, they're stuck playing defense for a while at least.
Right, here we go, pushing in. The Aerospray has 9 clams. They're going to put a ball together. They're going to toss it in. They're not going to be able to pop the baller quite in time. They're going to go down in a 3-down situation. They're going to be able to expand the lead just a little bit more down to 47. I mean, just a good job playing this aggression here. StarFall not wanting Bitclam to touch their plat. The Grim Range has been this beautiful breakout pick for StarFall almost every single time. So the Grim Range is going to try to back up here and play a little bit more defensively, find picks with their range. They're going to be able to get one down. They're going to go down to a section bomb. 2 specials ready for StarFall, or sorry, for Bitclam. And they're going to maybe try to take advantage immediately. Whoa! The baller getting a double kill, and StarFall is back on the board.
Still pushing, always getting the right picks at the right time, and that baller is just coming in clutch in so many different ways. There's only one
clam for the win here. And they're going to find it. The Aerospray on the right side going all the way around Bats and into the game. And that's 5-1 StarFall taking this LUTI set.
Wow.
I mean, just such demanding gameplay, pushing up there and playing the aggression, not wanting Bitclam to take any control, and proving to be the dominant team here. I said this going into the set, but I mean, both of these teams won their first round, so StarFall really looking to be the leader of this group and prove themselves the superior team. Yeah, I mean, some back and forth sets. We saw a lot of stalemates in mid game, but StarFall in that last one especially just proving to be dominating and proving to be in control.
Yeah, with like, I think that's 3 of their wins were KOs, which is pretty dominant, honestly.
Yeah. I
don't see that in every set.
You mentioned in the first game, just like seeing how these teams feel each other out and start to learn how the other teams play, and that's exactly what StarFall was able to do, and they recognized Bitclam's mistakes and they took control and was able to, really capitalize on everything on the field. Era, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at Era of the Times, and I don't tweet that much, but feel free to stop by sometime, I guess. How about you, Brush?
You can find me on the Twitters and some of the other socials at BrushstrokesWP. LSL is going to be out here streaming a couple more LUTI sets in the coming days and weeks, so make sure your eyes are peeled for that. Otherwise,
there's a Div 7 set, I think, tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST, or at least that's the plan. So be sure to stop by then.
The Div 6 team.
Div 6, my bad. Apologies.
So there you go. So tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. EST. I've been Brush on the mic. With me is Era. Hope everyone enjoyed some LUTI sets tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.